Good morning. Today we are discussing primary on chest X-ray. This is the most common investigation to be advised in the radio image when patient is having respiratory or cardiac problem or pyrexia of the unknown origin. Is advised for chest X-ray and with other investigation. So the knowledge of the chest X-ray is more important during the practice. When we see the chest X-ray, we should confirm the side of the chest X-ray. Sometimes mistake done by the technician, and we ignore this mark and make the conclusion it may be wrong. So we should confirm side of the chest X-ray by the following criteria. One is the aortic knuckle, second is the Gleason fundus, third the greater part of the heart to be visualized on the chest X-ray, and the fourth but not least is the return marker on the plate. In this X-ray, red arrow shows Gleason fundus, yellow arrow shows aortic knuckle, and blue arrow shows cardiac shadow, and a green arrow shows the marker. Mostly aortic knuckle is on the left side, Gleason fundus is on the left side, and greater part of the heart is on the left side. Left side means the situs inversus means the dextrocardiac, but this is the rare in the general population. And second point is rib counting. How to count the rib is more important. Suppose there is a fracture of the rib. Which rib has fracture? It identified by the rib counting. There are 12 pair of the rib. Each rib attached with the vertebral column. At the posterior end, anterior end of the upper 7 ribs are attached with the sternum, and 8, 9 and 10 ribs are attached to the above rib and connect with the sternum. It has an indirect connection with the sternum. Rib 11th and 12th has no direct or indirect connection with the sternum, but they have only connection to the vertebrae. So we should count the vertebrae from the posterior end. In this chest X-ray, by the green arrow and red arrow. Green arrow shows the posterior end of the first rib, and a red arrow shows the anterior end of the first rib. So we should trace from anterior end to the posterior end for the first rib. So we can confirm that this is the first rib. From the first rib, we should count rib from upper to down. So the green arrow shows the first rib. From this point of we should count the rib. Now the yellow arrow shows rib number 5th and blue arrow shows the 11th rib. So this is more important to count the rib from the posterior end. It is very easy. The posterior end is more horizontal and more distinct or more visualized on chest X-ray and easy to count. Next. Now the chest lesion is present, we can confirm the lesion is in which zone. So we should know zone on chest X-ray. There are 3 zones in chest X-ray: upper zone, mid zone and lower zone. Now you draw the imaginary line passing through the lower border of the second costocondyle junction. In this X-ray, blue arrow on upper level is at the end of the second costocondyle junction. A line passing through this level area above this line up to the apex. This is the upper zone. Now the mid zone is between this line and second line passing through the lower border of the fourth costocondyle junction. Now green arrow shows mid zone and the lower zone is area above the dome of diaphragm and below the line passing horizontally at the arrow of the green arrow. Commonly we should know border of the heart is formed by the which structure. The right border of the heart is formed by right atrium or right ventricle. So right ventricle. Second student say this is formed by the both right atrium and right ventricle. But right cardiac border is mainly formed by the right atrium. Right ventricle doesn't take part to form right cardiac border. The left border of the heart is formed by the aortic knuckle, main pulmonary artery, left atrial appendage and left ventricle. So left ventricle is take part in forming the left cardiac border, but right ventricle doesn't take part in forming the right border of the heart. When the before reading of the X-ray, some points should be clear. One is no rotation. X-ray should be taken in the deep inspiration and proper penetration. Then our report is good. If anything is abnormal in these 3 conditions, our conclusion is not proper. X-ray should be taken in the deep inspiration, so we can see the more lung filled. When we say X-ray taken in the deep inspiration, the right dome of diaphragm, the midclavicular line, is between the anterior end of the 5th and 6th rib, or posterior end of the 9th or 10th rib above the diaphragm is visible. Then this criteria match, we can say X-ray taken in the deep inspiration. If X-ray taken in the expiratory phase, diaphragm is above, we will see the anterior end of the 4th rib, more agitated at the base. Rotation. The medial end of the clavicle is equidistant from the spinous process of thoracic vertebrae. Spine is a vertical, centrally situated structure. We can take as a point for rotation. So when there is a rotation in chest X-ray, we don't make any comment on any lesion to be visualized on chest X-ray. The more distance is any side give some rotation on the same side. More distance means that side rotation, and that lung is more radiolucent. Suppose in the case of the right side, distance between the right clavicle and spinous process is more. We can say this is the right side rotation. So the right lung is more hyperlucent compared to the left lung. Same, the distance between the medial end of the right clavicle to the spinous process of the thoracic vertebrae is more compared to the left side. So the rotation on the right side. And penetration should be proper. When we say penetration is proper, spinous process of the upper 4 thoracic vertebrae are well visualized. Rarely visible intervertebral space through the heart shadow, and there is a visualization of the bronchiovascular marking through the cardiac shadow. They are present, then we can say proper penetration. The vertebral and intervertebral space not visible, and dome of diaphragm is not clearly visible, then we can say this is the under penetration. And over penetration, when vertebral column is visible throughout the chest and abdomen, and intervertebral space are well visualized through the heart. In the over penetration, you can see the entire vertebral column visualized throughout the chest and abdomen. This X-ray, one X-ray is a black, and second X-ray is as compared to black, it is some dense. in the black area you can see the vertebral column throughout the chest and abdomen. So X-ray looking black is over penetration. X-ray without showing vertebral column is under penetration. Now commonly X-ray is advised in the PA view. Sometimes X-ray is taken in the AP view. In the patient is not able to sit up or stand up, or in the ICU patient, then we take the AP view. Now in the case of the AP view, X-ray cassette is anterior to the chest and beam or radiation is coming from the posterior side of the chest. So we can differentiate X-ray is taken in the which view. In the PA view, medial end of clavicle is between the third and fourth rib anteriorly. In the AP view, medial end of the clavicle is near to the apex. Scapula cover less lung field in the PA view. Scapula cover the more lung field in the AP view. Now in the PA view, scapula is far away from the vertebral column, so we will see the more lung field. In the AP view, vertebral body of the scapula is near to the vertebral column, so we can see the less lung field. The posterior part of the rib are more visible in the PA view. In the case of the AP view, the anterior part of the rib are more visible. There is no magnification of the heart size in the PA view, but in the AP view there is some magnification of heart size. So normal heart size is increased in the AP view. There we can say the patient has cardiomegaly and advise unnecessary investigation such as ECG and echo, and give the financial burden to the patient. So up to this X-ray we can conclude. One is a side identification, second is a rib counting, third is zone classification, fourth is cardiac body formation structure, and last is which point favor the PA view. After this we go proceed. Now look at this X-ray. Which are the findings on X-ray? After this, what is your diagnosis, type of it, and differential diagnosis? This X-ray shows there is a radio dense opacity on the left side with trachea shifting on the same side, and elevation of left dome of diaphragm upward, and the gas shadow is up. Not finding is diminished volume of the air with reduction left lung size. Decreased volume or loss of air look more radio dense with the elevation of the left dome of diaphragm. All finding favor the lung volume reduction. Commonly it occurs in the collapse or atelectasis. Now the type of the collapse are: one is the obstructive, second is the cicatrization, and third is the relaxation or passive or compressive. Now the obstructive collapse, when obstruction of the airway from intraluminal, extraluminal or mural lesion. It gives the obstructive type of lesion. Air distant to this obstructive site is gradually absorbed, so we can't see the air beyond this site, but you will see the dark area in the airway. This is the cutoff bronchus. In the cicatrization, in case of the fibrosis, lung volume is decreased and shifting the hilum, trachea, dome, diaphragm, the same side. Now in the case of the lesion in the pleural space, commonly one is a effusion, second is a pneumothorax. So both condition, lung is relaxed, so it is considered relaxation or passive or compressive type of collapse. Now the differential diagnosis of the radio dense opacity on chest. One is a airspace consolidation, pneumonia. Second is a pleural effusion. Third is a pleural thickening from post-operative procedure. Sometimes removal of the entire lung. This is called post-pneumectomy. Give the same picture, radio dense picture, and pulmonary agenesis also give the same picture. So the DD of this radio dense opacity are: one is the airspace consolidation, pleural effusion, pleural thickening, pulmonary agenesis, and a post-pneumectomy. Respiration. Now the diminished volume of the air with the lung size, with the lung volume reduced and lung size also reduced, with the elevation of the dome of diaphragm and trachea shifted on the same side. It gives the collapse picture. Second, diminish the volume of the air without normal lung volume, which in case of airspace consolidation, in consolidation, only air is replaced by the positive organism as blood cell exudate, give the picture of the consolidation. Now the type of the atelectasis in case of the pleural effusion. In the pleural effusion, accumulation of the fluid compress the underlying lung. It is called compressive collapse or relaxation collapse. Now the type of atelectasis in endobronchial CA. In the endobronchial CA, there is a obstruction of the airways. So the distal to this side there is a collapse. This is the absorption collapse or obstructive collapse. Now the axial plate is kept anteriorly or posteriorly in the PA view. Now the axial plate is kept anteriorly in the PA view. And last but not least, how much distance is between the patient and X-ray beam? You tell, sir, 5 meter. Next, 3 meter. First student say, this is 2 meter. Yes, 2 meter is correct answer. Now we will see the focus on the X-ray. Which are the geological finding, then definition, causes. This X-ray will see the radiodense opacity with non-visualization of the left CP angle and left dome of diaphragm and shifting of the mediastinum to the contralateral side. So this X-ray is of left pleural effusion. Now this X-ray chest. Now the abnormality is on right side. We can't see there is a radiodense opacity at right lower zone with not visualization of the dome of diaphragm, right and right CP angle. X-ray of the right pleural effusion. Shifting of mediastinum is not always present in each and every case of the effusion. When there is a minimal effusion, then the chances of the shifting is very less. When there is a moderate or massive effusion, then there is a shifting of the mediastinum to the opposite side. But sometimes there is X-ray of moderate or massive effusion and shifting of the mediastinum same side or no shifting. It may occur in the case of CA bronchus. Above X-ray shows effusion. What is effusion? Effusion is accumulation of the abnormal amount of the fluid in the pleural space. Most common cause of effusion are pneumonia, tuberculosis, and malignancy. That exudative type of effusion, congestive cardiac failure, cirrhosis of the liver, and nephrotic syndrome also produce effusion of exudative type. We can differentiate exudative from exudative type effusion by the Wright's criteria. What is Wright's criteria? There are three components of the Wright's criteria. One is a protein in the fluid and protein in the serum. Ratio is more than 50%. Fluid LDH and serum LDH ratio more than 60%. And third, fluid LDH is greater than 2/3 of the upper normal limit of the serum LDH. Any one of above three is present. We can say it is exudative effusion. Common cause of the effusion in our country is tuberculosis. So we should do some other investigation for curing tuberculosis. TB marker is EDA, adenosine deaminase level. Cutoff value is 40 units per liter. Higher the value of EDA is more significant for tuberculosis. And EDA level may be increased in the pneumonia leading to the empyema, malignancy also, and rheumatoid connective tissue disorder type of effusion. But in this condition, EDA level is not too much increased. They are between the 35 to 45. If any doubt, we repeat the tapping after 1 week. If EDA level in the second sample go up, it favors the tuberculosis. Now the differential diagnosis of effusion are: one is a pneumonia, second is blood thickening, fibrosis, or collapse. Preparation. What will you advise to confirm the free fluid in the pleural space? Which view you can advise? PA, lateral or lateral decubitus? lateral decubitus give the impression of the minimal fluid present in the space. PA view is significant where the amount of the fluid is more in the space. PA and lateral X-ray don't give impression of free fluid in the space. If you take the lateral decubitous view, then the fluid is free, then it is shifted to the dependent part. So you will see the fluid is present at the lateral chest wall in lateral decubitus. So to confirm free fluid in the fluid space, lateral decubitus view is advised. Now the second question is minimal pleural fluid is easily detected on which view, PA view or lateral view. In the PA view, we will see the lateral CP angle, but X-ray taken in the lateral view, we can see the lateral view is as a anterior CP angle, and second is a posterior CP angle. Posterior CP angle is more lower, so the any fluid present in the space due to the gravitatory force goes to the posterior CP angle. When the CP angle is obliterated, then we can suspect patient have effusion or patient has thickened pleura. But same amount fluid is present if we take the X-ray in the PA view. We can't see the obliteration of the CP angle visualized on the PA view. Then we can say X-ray is normal and patient is having complaint. Then X-ray taken in the lateral view, then we confirm patient is having effusion. So the minimal fluid present in the space is easily detected by the lateral view. So once you suspect effusion, then you advise PA and lateral both. Now this X-ray shows one is your radiological feature, what is your diagnosis, the definition of diagnosis, component and need definition, commonest cause, which are the risk factor, how to diagnose, differential diagnosis, which are the complications are commonly asked by this X-ray. Now we will proceed on next lecture. Thank you.